Well, what do you know? I'm doing the old pals act with David Withers because the last time I saw you was 2 years ago.
That's right, yeah, 2 years ago at the awards dinner.
Yeah, and you were working at the time in the States for...
Yeah, Textron. I was president of Jacobson back
You were
then.
yeah, and then you came back home to the UK. You've had a year out, and
Yep.
lo and behold, you're, managing director of ISEKI now?
That's right, yes. So I took 2017 off, did a little bit of consulting and a few bits and pieces, but fundamentally did nothing to do with like the industry or machinery or anything like that. And that was quite good, kind of decompress, take a bit of time off, and obviously we had to kind of unwind everything from the States, remove back into the UK. So we got all that done, and then about autumn of last year, ISEKI were interested in me setting up a company for them here in the UK. And so we kind of got in dialogue about that, and we kicked off on January the 1st of 2018.
Now, is this a hard industry to kick then? Did you have designs on leaving the industry altogether, or does it get in your bones, under your skin to such an extent you can't let it go?
Yeah, I think it does. I think we always say if you're a turfie, you're a turfie, and I kind of am, I guess. I did look at it. I had a couple of other options actually to stick more in corporate life. But more in material handling and a couple of other options that there were over back in Europe. But it just felt a waste to me. I mean, I've spent the last 30 years building relationships and knowledge in this particular industry. And I've always said that this industry is more predicated around relationships than it is around anything else. People buy off people, and they buy off people that they trust and know and have spent time with over the years. And so it just felt a waste for me to kind of give all that up and go and do something completely different with forklifts or, something else. So when this came up, I'd actually known the Japanese guys, the ISEKI owners, for 30 years, and we've traded together for 25 of those. And so it felt like a very comfortable thing for me to do. I would have always struggled to go as well, to stay in this industry and go sell against the company that I worked at for 24, 25 years, because I felt my name was too associated with that particular brand.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a company that I have been associated with for 20 plus years. And really what we've done here is just set up a new company that is completely focused just on this particular brand and this range of products. And the market has responded really positively to that.
Well, you add credibility to that, of course, having, had that link with them and having been in and around the industry for so long. I mean, it's a glorious array behind you. What have you got here? What's your sort of core range?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the two unique features, if you think about mowers and tractors as two kind of different separate areas, when it comes to mowers, the one thing with ISEKI products is that they will cut and collect in the wet. Now, there's a bunch of machines you can look around here that say they cut and collect, blah, blah, blah. They will cut and collect, as long as the conditions are right. These things will cut and collect in unbelievable conditions. And so,
How so? How have you been able to tame that technology and tame that particular problem? What's gone into that?
Yeah, it's funny how it goes. So ISEKI, obviously a Japanese company, they started off building rice harvesters and rice planters. Incredible, clever little machines.
Wow.
In Japan. And then they moved into tractors and more conventional agriculture, as we Westerners would see it. But one of the things you have to do on those rice harvesters is to kind of lift the whole axle, rear axle, up higher in the ground because you're running in these paddy fields. Well, it is that actual technology that enables us to lift the rear wheels, particularly on a machine like that one over there.
Now, which one are you referring to there?
So if you, actually, do you want to walk over here and I'll
good.
kind of show
Hey,
you
don't
this,
you be
'cause
too
this
good
is-
at TV presenting. I'm
No,
not
no,
having
no,
you doing that.
Never done it before.
Come on.
So the big thing here is, if you look at this product, normally you'd expect the axle to run between the rear wheels, wouldn't you? But actually it doesn't. The axle is right up here. And then there are just chain cases that go down. What that means is the gap between the rear wheels, if you like, between here and here, which is where the grass is going to go to get into this big box at the back, that is hugely wide because we've lifted that axle up out of the way, and that's exactly the same way that they do it on the rice harvesters and the rice combines we've done on this particular product. You'll see quite a lot of products that have got a big tube going up the side, where they're taking the grass around the side, but we don't do that. We move the grass the shortest possible route, which is right directly back from where it's cut into the back of the into the hopper there. Now I've clearly made Mark fall asleep here,
Let me fall asleep.
which
let me fall You haven't made me fall asleep. I'll tell you what you've done. I was just I was so happy and impressed. That didn't break my neck. I was so happy and impressed that you just took over and told us all about that. Yeah. Are you happy sharing that technology with competitors?
Sure, I mean, everybody can see it. I mean, anybody could do it. It's not patented or anything, but it's just something that's in the DNA of ISEKI, and we've been able to take that, they've been able to take that and move that over into this particular difficulty that people have, which is collecting wet grass, and give us a great solution for that. So that's really, if you like, our USP on our mowers, is that just awesome cut and collect in the wet. On the tractors, the more conventional sort of Western style tractors like what you see here, it's two things really. One is the best cab in the industry. We've really focused on making sure that the customer, the actual user, is really well protected and really well looked after in the cabin environment. And then the other thing is, for the size of tractor and for the horsepower of the tractor, we get a tremendous amount of lift at the rear end. So you're able to use a bigger implement with a small tractor. And of course what that does is it reduces the amount of compaction that you're putting on the ground. So let's say with one of our competitors' tractor, you've got to use a 60 horsepower tractor which weighs 2 tons, and you're running that over your football pitch. Well, probably with us you may only need to use a 40 horsepower tractor which only weighs 1 ton and a bit, and therefore you're putting so much more less weight down on those areas. So they're kind of our USPs. Really good power to weight ratio on our tractors, and then just awesome cut and collect in any conditions really on all the mowing equipment. And that's really what we sell on.
David Withers, what an absolute waste it would have been if you hadn't returned to this industry. What a pleasure to see you.